16 different wines that have come from investments, liquidated investment accounts. The first wine we're looking at today is Cullen, the Diana Madeleine, the 04. The general consensus from the crowd today on this is that it's still a little young for drinking, which is fantastic news for the serious sellers. Also interesting to see the price point that we're at, which is a healthy $50 or $60 off recommended retail for the current release, and we're on the 04 at about $89 today. Then moving on to the second wine, which is the Reshki Coonawarra Cabernet. This has been one of the interesting sleepers of the tasting today. When this wine was released at 120 Australian dollars, I think it was more than 3 years ago, people were fairly nonplussed about the price pointing of it, and it's only in recent years that this wine has really started to come into play with decanter wine recognition, and with the gold recognition in 09. It got the highest rated South Australian Cabernet for the year at 18.7 points. I'll check that out and put the real number on the screen for you later on. The 04 has just been viewed by Decanter and placed in the top 10 best Cabernets in the world. So this wine is something really serious, and it seems like the caucus of happy drinkers here today, this seems to be the most popular Cabernet of the run so far. Then we're looking at the Magella. We've got two different vintages of the Magella today, the Malaya, which is Shiraz Cab Blend. I think there's a little bit of Merlot in this as well. I think it's 5 or 6% Merlot, if I remember correctly. I think definitely of the two vintages, I prefer the 03. The 03 is a lot more aggressive in every aspect. The style is the same, there's no question. This is Brian. Yeah.
What's the French thing we just been on?
You're thinking of Marc Chapoutier, the Chapoutier. Yep. And definitely the 03 is something that's just bigger on every level, and for that reason I think I like it more, I prefer it. So of the two, that's really shown well. We're going to do the last Cabernet and then I'll do the Shiraz. We're looking at Tapanapa. Interesting story behind this is Brian Crowe's private label. He's the man who made Petaluma what it is today, and then sold it off and went private again, which is a really good story. Kind of I think everybody wishes they could do. Cabernet, it's Shiraz, Cab Shiraz, so it's Cabernet Dominant, the 04. There's a beautiful resolution and a finesse in it. There's a nice ripeness about this wine, which is great. And a very beautiful, rich, ripe Shiraz, which from the northern, just over the border north of Coonawarra is quite unusual and a brilliant drink. I think this is going to go really well. So that's all for the moment, and we'll splice the Shirazes on later. Thanks. For the tail end of the evening now, so I apologise if I'm slurring. We're now into the Shirazes. We've got 5 different vintages and labels from Walter Creek. The interesting thing to note about these is the incredibly good value at this point now of spring fat. There was a time when this wine was significantly more expensive than what's being on offer today, and I think for me personally, and possibly judging by what was bought today, the 04 was the most pleasurable of the lineup of the spring flat vintages. I think that's probably what's going to end up being the favourite on the database. They're all drinking nicely now. The comment was made that 05 might be a wiser decision if you're looking at 2 to 3 year cellaring, but the 04 in terms of immediate purchase is probably the way to go. Then of course the 97 pointer from Wine Advocate, the Reserve Shiraz, representing the true Wilder Creek Shiraz approach to I think what Dave Addison calls high octane production of Shiraz. It's a beautiful wine, it's very full, very rich, and definitely an interesting and very collectible product. Then moving on to the Jasper Hills, we had 3, 4 and 5 of Jasper Hills, as well known to the database, at a relatively high price point. I think that all 3 of them were good for different reasons. So for me personally, again, 04 maybe it was something to do with the climate from that year, but it seems to be the one that there seems to be a pattern coming out of Heathcote at this point anyway in terms of maturation. There seems to be a pattern coming out of it for 04 as being the pick. Then we had the Fox Creek Reserve Shiraz. This is now hovering around about $50 a bottle. 65 originally.
I didn't pay 65. I bought it off you a long time ago.
More?
maybe 65 Aussie when Aussie was.
When Aussie was par. Yeah.
Yes.
So at the moment, this is around about $50 a bottle. The wine, I think, needs more time, but is definitely drinkable right now. But you can see again a pattern coming in the wine where it's going to reward those of you who wish to cellar it. But it is eminently drinkable. The last 2 wines we looked at today, getting onto the Grant Bridge Mishak, 01 and 02. I love both of them. I think my personal favourite of the two was the 02. The comment again was made that with an extra year in the 01, it's drinking better now than the 02. So I guess leave it up to you. Both of them are actually available. So that's it for our vintage wine tasting for the day. And remember, at the end of the day, don't worry too much about what the wine critics say. If you like it, just come and drink it.